Hello, everybody. Who's on there?
Hi, everybody.
What's going on? We need someone to hop on, someone to do a sound check. Check us out. One person. Who's on first? It's always fun to see who gets on first. It's still fun. Master Spas.
Sound
is good. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. So let us know where you're on from. Any questions, hit on there. Where you're watching from. We'd like to hear all that stuff. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So we got some special guests. They're chilling out already. We're at my house, which we can explain why we're here, because we were gonna go to the warehouse because we weren't sure about the weather. It's really hot outside. Germany, awesome. That's exciting.
Cool.
That's amazing. So we actually changed. You want to talk about the water, or do you want to introduce them?
We can introduce them first.
Go ahead.
So we have we looked back, and it was 9 months ago that we had my parents at our warehouse swim spa talking about how they use the swim spa. And so we have them again here today, now in Ben's swim spa. So there's my dad, Joe, and my mom, Terry. And this swim spa is much warmer than the one that we have at the warehouse. And we'll get back to talk to them about how they're still using the swim spa and how it's helping them with their mobility and just staying, doing some exercise, daily exercise, and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to come back to Ben here, and we're going to talk about the water in our warehouse swim spa.
So, all right. So the water, it was interesting. How old do you think that water is? It's over a year.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time.
So we changed. So we've had that. It was 6 months. It's got to be nearly a year and a half. That water has got to be nearly a year and a half old, and never did anything. Only test strips we ever put in it were the one we did on the live. Pretty interesting. So what happens is when the water starts to get old and you turn it on for swimming, it'll start to separate, and it almost looks like you're injecting air into it, and the water just doesn't look quite right.
Yeah.
So it was just worn out. It still looked clear. When you stopped the jets, it still looked clear, but the water was just worn out. So it was time to change.
Swimming in there, it was starting to get...
Yeah, the visibility was starting to be a little yucky. So, not yucky, but just not clear.
Yeah.
So no smells or anything like that. So it was time to change. We had a heck of a run, and that does not have Master Pure or a circ pump. Oh, we lost a float. So now it's sort of interesting. We did it a little differently this time. Actually, that is sort of a segue.
Oh yeah.
Into the drain. I'll let you make the correction.
Yeah. So I made a mistake the last live that we did, because I mentioned that when someone asked about draining the swim spa. And there is not a gravity drain in the swim spas. So you could use a sump pump, or you can use how we did the swim spa at the warehouse this past time. So you want to tell them what you did?
Yes. Matt Kershaw. Hi to my brother Scott. What's up, everybody? So what we did was we did a siphon. Like it was 1950 and we were stealing gasoline out of someone's car. We did it with 2 hoses and
it worked
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've done it before, but this was a little different because if you take this is 1,900 gallons. The Challenger 15 Deep is 1,900 gallons. If you put a small circ pump on that with a regular, 3/4 inch hose, 1/2 inch hose.
Sump pump.
It's going to take like 8 hours to drain that thing. And no one has 8 hours to just sit there and watch it drain. You can't leave because if it got done, you'd chew your pump up.
Yeah.
So, I guess you could come back in 6 hours, but that's, again, sort of a pain. So what we did this time was we ran the hose out of the garage and did a siphon, which is just a siphon, old school siphon, like we were stealing gas in the 50s, and from some old man's car, and we left it overnight. So when we got back the next morning, there was about 10 inches of water left. We threw the pump in, and it was done in 45 minutes, and it was done. So we didn't have to sit there for it, so it worked really well. Yeah. It was a great trick. Worked fantastic. And then we actually we have really great water pressure at the warehouse, so we did 2 hoses into it, and it filled the swim spa back up in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So this was really the least amount of time spent. We cleaned the filters out the week before. We didn't do them again. We just drained it and refilled it. That's it. Turned it back on. So it was great. but it's not quite warm enough. So this morning at 11, was it 11?
11-ish, yeah.
11-ish was about 82, 81 degrees, which is fine for swimming.
It did
but
not feel good.
Yeah, and it didn't feel good. But not great for hanging out in. And for the lives, we need to hang out. So we popped up here to my house. Mine's 96, 97 degrees. It's all right. Now, what we didn't know is that it was going to be 96 degrees outside. So we're all kind of sitting here boiling. But, you know, everything worked out. So
it's sunny, but not too sunny. So it's nice.
Yep. So I'd like to give a shout out to Mike Leahy.
Yes.
Mike Leahy monitors. He's an administrator in a Facebook group. This guy is doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
He's an amazing person, and he's really doing a lot of work for no personal gain. He's just taking care of a lot of people, a lot of questions, and I'd like to give him a shout out, and everyone owes him a huge thanks. He's just, you know, and some of what's going on is that, you know, our industry is just completely inundated right now, and has been for the last year and a half, and dealers are having trouble, you know, with phones and getting calls and sales leads, and the inquiries are just absolutely insane. So he's answering a lot of questions for people. That if you have a quick question, you pop on there and ask, and he's giving great quality information.
We're not stopping because you're so great, and we appreciate you. So
yeah, we're not stopping.
Stop.
So yeah, you stop. So he's a great guy, and he's not doing this for himself. He's helping everyone. He's helping every dealership, every customer, everyone involved at Master Spas, and we all owe him, you know, a serious thanks. So Mike, thank you very much in all seriousness. I know we like to tease each other.
You.
Man, you're doing a great job. Let's see. Next shout out, water. Suzanne.
Oh.
My friend. I harassed her the first time I mentioned her, but now, so she asked this morning that Mike made the announcement of the live, and she said, I just want to know if Ben had cloudy water at the house yet. Well, I did. And it was a very interesting situation, one that I did not think about, and one that I can't say I wasn't prepared for, because obviously it's fixed. So, and we did not change the water here. So it was an interesting situation. On this swim spa here at my house, we've got Master Pure and the Circ Pump. So we went on vacation for a week, and we had a 19-year-old kid staying at the house who's a great guy, did a great job. He turned it up to 100 and was in it every day, and he put a little chlorine in after each time. So we came back, the water looked great. Didn't think anything of it. So that was Sunday night, this past Sunday. Today's Wednesday. So Sunday night, Beth and I went in it, water looked fine, and we didn't even put chlorine in after we were done. But we didn't want it at 100, so we turned it down to 95 or 96. Now what I forgot, because this is the first swim spa I've ever had that had a Circ Pump. Most of them that I've ever had did not. What I forgot about was that if you turn it down more than 3 degrees, that Circ Pump shuts off. And I have the regular filter cycles turned off on this because we've got a Circ Pump, so we don't need them. Okay? Maria wants to be in your video. Maria, you probably don't. I'm thinking you hit the wrong button. So when we turned that Circ Pump down and we didn't put chlorine at 100 degrees, that was Sunday night. Beth came out, she took Monday off, she came out, opened up the swim spa and went, oh my God, what the heck happened? Sent me a picture, what the heck happened since last night? And I'm like, what the hell? I have no idea. I actually forgot, and she remembered and said, you know what? We turned it down more than 3 degrees, the Circ Pump shut off, and the water flipped. So I got home, I told her to put a scoop, you know, which is about like an ounce and a quarter of chlorine in it right now, and we'll see what happens, see what it looks like when I get home. So I got home, I don't know, actually we did a lot of stuff on Monday.
Yeah.
First day back from vacation, so maybe 3, 4 o'clock. And I actually took the test strips out. I have no problem admitting it. So Suzanne, this is what happened. So 4 o'clock Monday, test strips, alkalinity and pH were in the basement. They were like bottomed out. Chlorine was actually 3 ppm. It was perfect. So what we did was, if you guys remember from any of the chemical episodes, you always start with alkalinity. Don't even worry about anything else until the alkalinity is fixed. Alkalinity, pH, chlorine. Okay? Now we just dumped the chlorine in there because. So alkalinity, we dialed in the alkalinity and had that, and then we put quite a bit in, ran it for an hour, checked it again, it was about halfway of where it needed to be, dumped in some more, brought it up, waited another hour, tested it, and it was perfect. pH was a little low, but it was good. So that I didn't want to mess with it anymore. So we turned the temperature back up so that the circ pump would kick back on. Woke up the next morning, water was perfect. So just adjust your alkalinity, your pH, then let it clean itself. And what we definitely see a lot of people do for a mistake is that they just, when they fix the numbers, they're like, why is it not immediately fixed? It just takes time of filtering. We did also, Beth cleaned the filters on Monday as well. So simple. And it was 12. I mean, I woke up as soon as it was light out, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, Tuesday morning, water was perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. As you can see, it's absolutely perfect. Okay. So Suzanne, I did have cloudy water. It was something that totally, snookered me, totally caught me by surprise, and we dealt with it. But alkalinity first, A comes before P. That's how you remember. Fix your alkalinity, then pH, then chlorine, then just wait. Turn your filtration way up. We have a circ pump, so we didn't have to do that. The circ pump just runs. Okay, so that's what we did. Water's perfect, and that's it. Now we'll turn it down slowly so that the circ pump doesn't shut off. All right, what's next? Water change, water chemistry. Said hi to Mike, said hi to Suzanne. Let's see. Well, let's get started here.
Yeah.
Now for the real stuff. Okay? Not that that's not real, because everybody struggles with the water. From you read that Master Spa's page. Man. And everyone on here, you know what? Please do Mike a favor. If anyone can just do a quick search for your question, because, if once you're in that group, you see Mike answer the same questions every single day. Let's take care of Mike and do a little bit of searches first, and then go from there. It's really bright out. The phone just like kicked down, so now you can't see it. So we'll do our best. We can't see it very much. So now we want to get started with Joe and Terry, our special guests, and you guys. Joe, how old are you again? I forget.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm 81.
All right, let me turn this around. So what I do, because I'm not very smart. Right. Hey. Yeah, I totally agree. Did you see that? That was ridiculous. So I never age someone at all from the first time I meet them. Ever.
Right.
That's what I do. Okay, so Joe, you're 80. Terry?
79.
79. Okay, these guys are completely kicking ass. I can say ass, right? I can say ass once in a while, and I can say crap, but I can't say anything else.
Okay.
All right, so we've met the quota for coming as near to swearing as I can, and these guys work out in the swim spa at the warehouse. It's hot out here. All the time. They're doing a great job. We're going to get into specifics because that's what everyone wants to know about. What I want to take a minute to talk about, and these guys get it, and it's because they don't have a choice to stop anyway, because Mary would just lose she's such a pain in the butt anyway to them. And if they said, you know what, we don't want to work out anymore, oh my God, forget about it. It's not going to happen. Not happening. So they don't have a choice.
I need them around.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So what I want to talk about here is, and this goes for everyone, and this should appeal to this group because this is all fitness based. People want these swim spas for health, for recreation, for fun. Master Spas, I'm telling Susan about your potty mouth. I don't think Susan's the one that cares. It's they watch me like a hawk. So, but I've been a good boy. I haven't had one slip up on the lives. It's coming, but it hasn't happened yet. Although it's been a while. We're doing all right here.
I'm abreast.
So I'm telling you, I don't know who that is. I'm thinking it's Kayla. Kayla?
It's gotta be
Why are you
Kayla.
going to be like that? You know what, though? You never know. Kim could be there. It could be Kayla. It could be all of them just sitting around like harassing us.
Could be.
Anyway, so the point is, all of us are supposed to be exercising. We have to, as humans, in order to maintain youth-like movement, you have to exercise continually. Now, what happens is, as we age, your muscles are still very, very strong. Your ligaments and your tendons are weakening every day from 25 years on, 25 years of age on. So that's where your injuries come from. It's typically not a muscle. It's usually a ligament or a tendon, typically. Now, I'm not saying you can't tear a muscle. Of course you can. But that's what we see the most of, okay? And you guys, if you recall, our involvement started with Master initially was completely from the fitness perspective. So this is our home turf, this information. We have to exercise. It should be mandatory. It's lengthening your quality of life. And for me personally, I want to go 100 miles an hour until the day I die. That's the whole idea. So It is just a matter of keeping things moving. Now, when you have injuries or preventing injuries, that's where the water really shines, okay? Because water is the equalizer. Water, you have a 75% reduction in the water when it's at, chest high. So that reduction is going to be huge on your ligaments and tendons. And now we've actually got some different stuff to talk about with Joe and Terry specifically on that very subject. But when it comes to balance, and you guys have heard me say this before, anyone who's listened to a lot of these, and again, I'm sorry if you did. So balance isn't something that you're born with, that you've got a 5-gallon bucket of it, and then when we get to be 65, the balance is gone. Oh, well, I'm out of balance, and that's it. It's a weakening of your small stabilizing muscles around every joint, okay? So that's where that stabilizer muscles and synergist muscles come in. They're the supportive muscles. Those are the ones where if you can't stand on one foot, if you have no injury and you can't stand on one foot in balance, your stabilizers in that leg they're already diminished. And all muscles deteriorate as we age, especially if you don't exercise them. Your major muscles, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, they're huge. They're going to stick around the longest because they're huge. The little ones are going to go away the fastest. Those are the ones we need to focus on. Okay, so doing machine exercises in a gym, that does the stabilization for you. It's not going to do that. Whereas in the water, that's where you can do all the weird stuff, and the weird stuff keeps us young. Mm-hmm. Fair to say?
Yeah.
Right. So that's where it is. So I want everyone exercising in here. I know we focus on the recreation. Everyone wants to talk about installation, and everyone wants to talk about chemicals. And my water's cloudy. Blah, 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 blah. Exercise. It's absolutely the reason we're doing this. It's the reason these are made. This is the fountain of youth, if there was one. Okay? So,
I like that, right?
And we don't
right.
It's
true.
You don't have to be an athlete to do exercise in here. So.
We are not
Yep.
athletes.
Right.
You guys are doing all right. So I have a couple of things that I noticed, and that with Joe in particular. So Joe has, you have a bone spur in your ankle. Is it a spur or is it?
No.
It's a screw.
I broke.
Hang on, let me turn this to you.
I broke my calcaneus bone.
Jeez, say that fast.
It was operated on.
Okay.
You shattered it.
And then there's a plate in it, and the screws came undone in the plate.
Okay.
So the screws are floating around in my ankle.
Okay, so you have loose change and hardware floating around in a moving joint.
Right.
That doesn't sound comfortable, does it?
It's not comfortable at
Okay.
times.
So, now, the change that we've had with Joe in the last 9 months was he was focused on, actually, we got lots of stuff to talk about. He was more focused on walking outside at that time.
Yep.
Prior to the swim spa. He was walking outside, he was walking on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Now, Joe had heart surgery 6 years ago.
Right.
And he's in such awesome shape that we forget about it. So I think last time, I'm almost positive, we didn't mention it.
I don't think.
I'm going to see if I can hide over here in the shade. So, I didn't.
That's where I came.
That's
in
good.
the shade.
Kim in the shade. It's hot out here, guys. So I think we completely forgot about that. So when after that heart surgery, and it was serious major heart surgery.
Yes.
Triple bypass.
Triple bypass,
bypass.
and they totally, actually you can see the scar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they did a great
Triple
job on mine.
bypass and he has pacemaker.
So never mind that scar, you're still beautiful.
Thanks.
So that was when we started talking about his heart rate, which is, Mary and I are training endurance most of the time, so we're deeply involved with heart rate stuff. And then anyone who's doing cardiovascular therapy type work, they're seriously concerned with their heart rate. They have, certain medications won't allow it to go too high. And these are all considerations. So getting in, when he started walking outside, doing a great job. They're both physically fit. Weight is not an issue. They both eat right because Mary makes them.
Yes.
Yep, she does, totally. And actually, I kind of think they would anyway, though. They eat pretty good.
Yeah.
So anyway. So then he starts exercising, and
Although
then...
I always loved McDonald's, but I haven't had that in a
Oh
long
my
time.
God.
How many years?
It's not worth it.
I always loved it.
I'm not
Like I
talking about the
said,
taste. I'm talking about the bathroom afterwards. It's not worth it. Summer was just talking about this. She wasn't sure what made her stomach feel bad.
Oh.
And Beth was like, didn't you go to McDonald's? Or, that's what it was.
Yep.
So then Joe is focused on training, doing a great job. Then we get the swim spa, and that sort of changed things again. But then more recently, he was... So did this all happen as you went to... I'm going to turn it around. when you went to Florida. So when you went to Florida, you didn't have the swim spa, right, guys?
So
Right.
I was walking outside.
Slide you
again.
over so I can put you both in there.
I
There
was
you
walking
go.
outside again, but I didn't notice until we got back,
Yep.
and I was using the treadmill again,
Yep.
and I noticed that because my foot was banging when you're walking,
Right.
your foot is banging. By the time I would do my hour of treadmill, my right foot, where the operation was, where the floating hardware is, was like intense pain.
I bet.
So I asked Mary if she thought I could walk against the current. She said, "Yeah, let's try it."
So at that time, you were doing all the exercises, but not cardiovascular.
Right, exactly.
The walking wasn't taking place. So did everybody follow that? All of the rowing, the dumbbells, the kickboard. I love the kickboard. He loves the
Yeah.
kickboard. The one with his foot on it. I love that exercise. And you actually reminded me that those are great and I should be doing them. So none of that was taking. So he was doing all the exercise in there, but the cardio was still taking place on a treadmill, which conveniently was located,
Right next to the
18 inches from the swim spa. So it's not like it wasn't available. It was right there. So this was a great switch. All right. So let's talk about the discomfort. So basically, and you guys, everyone watching this, you guys understand this. In your ankle joint, there's not room for loose screws. All right. It doesn't exist. So it's going to cause pain. I can't even imagine how painful that was. When you went into the water, started walking, tell us about that, please.
Well, I started walking, and I definitely the pain would last for the whole day.
After on the
After-
treadmill.
Oh,
after
really?
the treadmill.
Yep.
So when I started walking in the swim spa against the current, when I would be done, the pain was like from the difference between level 8 to maybe a 2. So yeah, it was much better. And I was talking to Ben earlier. I think he said we should try what do you call it?
Heart rate monitor.
A heart rate monitor.
Monitor.
I actually think it's a better workout against the current than it is on the
Yep.
treadmill.
Yep.
But we don't know.
So
We're not absolutely
but you
sure.
do know your heart rate on the treadmill was
About
127. Now,
Yeah.
is it regulated with meds to not go higher than that?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I think I can get it up higher.
Okay. I'm not saying you should.
No, I know. But I asked the doctor, my heart doctor, and he said 127 is acceptable.
Okay, good.
So,
So
I keep it there.
if he's happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And he did a great job. So
right.
yeah, we're not going to go against that or even seek a second opinion. That's a great heart rate. So I'd be curious what it was in the water. That's what
Yeah,
we need to
that-
find
yeah,
out.
too.
You guys got to stand closer. I can't keep you both in there. There you go.
Sorry,
Shimmy over there. There. Ew, God. Mary's blushing. Ew. All right. So
I'm used to it.
yeah, I know. So that's amazing. And then Terry, let's talk about your back. What's going on with your back?
Well, I have spinal stenosis. I've had it for several years, and it exists from my neck down, so that it affects pain in my legs, and now I've noticed pain in my arms. So I find that exercising my arms in the swim spa, I just not too long ago had a flare-up of the arthritic problem that I have, along with the spinal stenosis.
Yep.
And it affected my arms quite a lot,
Both arms equally?
especially- Well, my right arm worse.
Okay.
Which is interesting because it's my right leg too.
Right.
And I found that I probably had a frozen shoulder as well because I could not do this
Right.
or this.
Right.
So when I checked out online the length of time that a frozen shoulder could last, it said anywhere from
Oh yeah.
3 months to a year.
Yep.
And I found by exercising in the swim spa and doing what they said, putting ice on it, I didn't even have it for as long as a month.
Right.
The frozen shoulder.
And and some of that is guys that, I mean, we're obviously, super grateful for our situation here, but it's not everyone has access to this.
That's
right.
And it's,
And I'm very grateful.
yeah, we're all grateful. I mean, it's amazing. Master's an amazing company. I mean, we certainly love,
Well, and I think-
all this.
One thing for her is walking, which the doctor recommends that she continue
Keep
to
moving.
move.
Keep
Right,
moving.
right.
But walking
But it's uncomfortable.
on the ground is very
Sure,
painful.
It's painful.
sure. And
Where
in here,
when you're in the swim spot, she can do many different exercises, include walking against the current, that she would never be able to do on the ground.
Right.
So it's really helping
Absolutely.
you to get that
Oh,
movement
yeah.
in that you wouldn't be able to do.
That I would not be able
You
to
know,
do on the ground
otherwise.
Otherwise, exactly.
when I wear a hat, my ears are outside of it. Is that like the cool way to wear it and I'm not
I
cool?
don't know. I tucked them in on purpose. I wasn't sure, but I purposely tucked them in.
And that's the sort of stuff that goes on with my brain. I'm like, it's funny. I'm getting to be like an old man. You don't put your ears inside the hat. You know what I mean? That's not how you're supposed to wear a hat.
Well, I didn't
I'm
like how
such
my
a
ears
jerk.
stuck out.
All right. Well, there you
I
have it,
notice a lot
folks.
of younger kids wear their hats.
Tuck it?
Yeah.
And then there's this dude with his hat backwards, sunglasses on, enjoying himself.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? What are we missing? What am I not thinking about?
So we had talked about, just the consistency. So now it's been, 9 months that
Talk.
that they've
getting a
been
drink.
using the swim spa.
Actually, it's been longer than that.
It
because-
has
Oh,
been
that's
longer
true,
because
yeah.
When you first interviewed us 9
We had
months ago,
already-
we had already been
Using it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
for a while. Exactly.
But what can you say, like in the past year or so? Have you noticed any improvements when you're using? I mean, obviously, just being able to do it, but any improvements in the exercises that you're doing or anything like that?
I don't know if there's improvements, but me personally, I keep trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Like if I notice that I can't turn to my right for some reason, so then I'll definitely purposely try to do an exercise like that. Or Ben and I were talking about this earlier, because he's always talking about balance, and I noticed that I still can put my pants on without
Yeah.
holding on to something, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
When I think
Without falling over?
without falling over.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. I agree. I have experienced that too. My
I noticed
balance.
that you did it the other day.
Oh, I do
was
it.
really impressed.
Yes, I do it.
Yeah.
I do it.
And like we were saying, those are the things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
Don't think about. And I think the other thing for me is the amount of reps. When I first started doing the exercises, I started with 10, then I went to 15, and I can do 30
Right.
without
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
In terms of doing the reps. So I definitely feel more limber.
Good.
It's wonderful, and we've said it again, we'll like to say it again. It's to be able to use the swim spa
For
is
exercise.
it's really great.
It is.
Yeah.
Really great stuff.
You know, that for years, and you guys remember this from when you all, three of you, first joined the gym. How are we doing on time? A little bit?
Yeah.
I always said that youth-like movement. This is
Yes.
everything that we do is for maintaining youth-like movement.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I love talking about the pants.
Yeah.
And everyone here is going, oh yeah, I sit down to put my pants on. I sit down to put my socks on. When everyone here was 18, they put their socks on like this
Right.
and put them on and didn't ever think anything of it. Then all of a sudden we hit our 30s and it's so much easier to sit down and put these damn socks on and the pants. And here's Joe, 80 years old, Terry, 79, standing up, putting their pants on. That's youth-like movement.
Yep.
And those are the things that we take for granted.
I actually do that on purpose.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
And I don't even think about it, to tell you the
Good.
truth.
Yeah.
Well, that means it's easy. That
It
means you're
is.
doing something
I
right.
don't think about it.
So I thought of something.
Yeah.
It's all right to say this. How many times when I'm 80. I'm actually 81. But thanks, Ben.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Are you
is.
sure?
He just in July.
One of the things I was thinking about one day, I was in the pool. How many times have you thought about jumping when you're our age?
Right.
Well, in the pool.
In the pool?
And swim spa.
Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got pretty high.
Yeah.
And you know,
Water
you
is
don't
the
have,
equalizer.
and you know what, you don't have to worry about falling. Because,
Right, right.
You know, so if you wanted to jump, you know, several times, you know, like my pants are gonna fall off. You
That,
can,
that happens.
we
We've
can
all
have
been there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are things that I can do in the swim spa that I couldn't probably do.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it. Not in the swim spa.
Yeah.
Swim spa.
Right.
Now, did you feel your ankle when you did that just
No.
now?
No, I don't feel it.
Awesome. That's amazing. Because I mean, you think about it. There's a screw
Towel?
floating around
Drink?
in your ankle. 2 screws.
Oh, wait.
I mean, how can that
Finish
how can
this
that
one.
be comfortable ever?
Yeah.
And-
I guess I'm lucky because, you know, it doesn't hurt all the time.
Yep.
It does hurt if I like to walk long distances. Then it starts to hurt.
It must have found a little nook it likes to hang out in.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
bother you.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, you know, so to end the stability, and guys, everyone here knows that I have a jerk streak a mile wide, and if you're exercising and not focusing on stabilizers and not focusing on balance, and you have a trainer that's not focusing on that, you're missing something. They're a jerk. You need to focus on that stuff. We all do. Like I'm 46. I'll be 47 soon, sooner than I want to be. And this year and last year, I started switching things over to more balance-based stuff that I never did before, and things that I took for granted. And now we're switching these things over to maintain that stuff. It starts way earlier if you're smart. Okay, so get started on that stuff. And all these exercises in the swim spa are fantastic. I just switched this week. Switched from 5 runs per week to 3 runs on dry land and 2 runs in the swim spa, which I've done a million times before, but now it's actually scheduled.
Yeah.
And I like to run backwards against the current. I put it on low 20-20 in the Challenger, ran for 30 minutes, had an average heart rate of 111, which is lower than my marathon heart rate, but it's still plenty of heart rate to get that activity, and felt absolutely amazing. So
When
keep
I-
that in mind.
When I run, I go forward. I also go backwards. I also go sideways.
Yeah.
And I find that you're definitely using different muscles
Yeah.
when you are running sideways as well.
Okay.
And I do the same.
Yep.
I warm up by doing 100
Sip of water? You okay?
I'm good. Thanks.
against the current,
Yep.
front ways. Then I turn and do 50 backwards. And then I do 50 on one side and 50 on the other side.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris, you asked about the covers not standing up straight like that. You might just have a different type of cover lifter. These are just the type of cover lifter that stands straight up like that. Other types don't. So it just might be the type of the cover lifter that you have. It's probably not drilled in correctly. One of the questions, speaking of balance and stability, do you have any specific exercises that you would recommend? That's a question from Sue. I think it's Missouri.
MO is Missouri.
I think it's Missouri.
Beth is good at these.
Yeah.
She knows every one. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I always forget. MO's Missouri, right?
I don't know.
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's
We're
Missouri.
in bad shape here. We're in bad shape today. All right. So exercises to improve balance.
We need you to speak a little bit louder.
Okay. So there's tons of stuff. So one of the things I like to do, if you have the propulsion going sideways, take a dumbbell and stand feet shoulder width apart and arms up straight, and then you're going to work your core. Everything starts with your core, and if you want to really have fun, do it on one leg.
Yeah, that's
And
really hard.
And you're going to have to turn the propulsion
Way down.
Ooh, I'm
But-
gonna do that.
Oh, he's sold.
Yep.
Sold. We gotta take her. But as you stand
I
on
never
one
tried
foot,
that.
and actually put that on my ankle. So everybody see all those little movements, all those little muscles and tendons flexing? Those are what we're trying to work. Those are your stabilizer and synergist muscles. Okay, they're all small, but that's all balance. You have to practice those things. Okay.
Yep.
In the swim spa, you can do anything in there. You're gonna have to balance. You're going to have to use one leg, all that stuff. So any exercise that you can do with 2 legs, do with one.
Yep.
That'll increase your balance.
So
Lower leg.
say what you do again.
So,
Do you have the...
dumbbells?
Yeah.
Of course I do.
And then, Dad, in the meantime, someone's asking if you could walk against the current, so we'll...
Do it, Pops.
You want me to walk or run? Because I do both.
We'll start with a walk.
So you want to go up to 4?
Yep. I think that needs to be on there.
So when I'm walking, I make, because Ben told me to, make sure my knees come up as high as I can get them, and I'm moving my arms as well. And then when I run, same kind of thing. Try to get my knees up as high as I can.
And then he can adjust the current so that it's a little bit more resistance or a little bit less resistance depending on what he's doing and what he needs. So you want to make sure that you're lifting up those legs, knees up, and moving the arms, because the more parts of your body that you're moving, the better workout that you're going to get.
It goes sideways as well. You notice that the current is pushing you. So
Yep.
you're definitely trying to keep your balance this way.
I never even thought to do it sideways.
Yeah. So that was a
Yeah, it makes great sense.
that was a question from Dana in Arkansas, who also I think is on here. But Dana, no, you definitely don't need a treadmill. In fact, we typically recommend not getting the treadmill because it's kind of cumbersome under the water and
It gets in the way of everything
Yeah.
else. It's
And like I
amazing
say,
to do in there.
I think you really get a good workout. I mean,
yeah.
Yep. But we
Yeah.
do have the soft tread. Mention the soft tread.
Right. So in the swim spa here and at the warehouse, we have the soft tread padding, which you could see that gray
Oh yeah, that's really.
pad. It really
makes
is
a
really
difference.
great.
We used to do it without it.
Yep.
Remember the other?
Yep.
Absolutely. The first one
Yeah,
we
that-
had, yeah, absolutely. The first 3 we had didn't have it.
Yeah.
And
It's
if
amazing.
without it, it can be slippery. You
Yeah,
need to just
very
get
slippery.
water shoes. But with it, it really gives you some good traction.
Hide in the shade.
All right, so just going back to that exercise, Joe wanted to try out that exercise.
Okay, so what do we have on here? We got 4, 5, 6. Yes, we all. We're on low. So stand.
Pam in Massachusetts with clear water since listening to Ben.
Yes.
Pam, we actually found a kit on Amazon, like a water aerobics kit
So hold it in the middle.
that has the ankle, some ankle fins, and there's a whole kit. It has like a dumbbell. We showed it a while ago. But I think I just looked up like
Are you not touching the side?
a
right?
water exercise equipment, and it does have the ankle and it does have dumbbells too.
And
They
then
work pretty
towards
well.
Through the current, and squeeze and flex your.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ben, you want to explain that again?
I like that.
Okay. So, what we're doing, I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to make it hard.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
So this is a good exercise to help with balance and stability.
It's good for you. I did the same thing to Mary last time we did the exercise in here. So what I want you to do, your elbows are locked straight.
Yep.
Your legs are locked in position about shoulder width apart.
Yep.
So I want you to rotate. Don't rotate in your shoulders like this. You want to rotate your whole
body.
trunk
Yeah.
that way.
Yep.
And then flex your midsection, core, abs, and then go against the current with that's catching water. You feel it?
Oh yeah.
Don't forget to breathe. Now I don't want you to go past. See, when you go past, it takes off the tension.
Yeah.
I want you to stop right about there. No break. Basically what I'm doing is removing your rest.
Okay, so then
Do it again.
Nice and slow.
I like it. Actually, I like it.
It's a fantastic exercise. And you're using the water. We have moving water in a box.
Yeah.
So our dumbbells aren't the ones they use at the Y that float and are all yucky. These ones catch water. They're amazing. And now we have the ability to move water and catch water. That makes resistance in ways that you cannot replicate on dry land.
Really.
And then you have to do both sides. So then you just spin around and do the other side. It's a great exercise.
I can really feel it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Why
absolutely.
didn't you tell me this sooner?
I don't know. Nobody listens to me. That's not true.
What's the thing on? So I'll know when I
I have it on 12, 12 and low.
drop in that.
I mean, you could do 20 of them and put it lower. It doesn't matter. You'll get it to work. All you need to do is catch that
I
water.
could do it on 1 foot though.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, I can't.
Not at that speed. At lower speed, you could.
Oh, okay.
So if we turned it down, but then all that stuff is just gonna. The weirder and harder it is, the more balance, the more stabilizers get involved.
I I
Yep.
definitely like
Lowered
it.
it. See if you can.
You want to try it on one foot? Go ahead. I'll make sure I don't fall off the backside of the deck here.
No. Needs practice.
Well, even if you stand in the current
sure.
on one foot, if you put the current on low, put the VSPs off, and the current.
There you go.
Now,
the
okay,
start.
so now do that. Now, everybody see him struggling to maintain balance in there? That's where you make your money. Okay? See those facial expressions? That's exactly what we're looking for. So I know he's flexing every weird little muscle around his knee, hip, and ankle right as we speak. Look at the other leg kicking up. Those are working the correct muscles. That's the weird stuff. It cannot be done on dry land, not in the same way. Okay?
Two more questions
Okay.
not related to that.
Go ahead. You want to take that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Don't forget the salt water one, by the way.
Yeah. That's the. Are you gonna answer?
You love the salt one.
I don't.
I'll do the salt. No
okay.
salt.
Yep. No salt.
It's unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Anybody smell any chlorine in there?
No.
So the reason, and we get it, the reason people don't want to use chlorine, they have been to a pool, been to a hotel, they go in the hot tub, they go in the pool, and you come out and you stink so bad you have to take 3 showers, and you still smell like chlorine. It's not the case in here. You're using a small amount. It's much less water. It's clean water. It's your water. You're using the chlorine after you get out. So chlorine is a broom. We're sweeping up after ourselves. That's what you're doing with it. So it's not gobs and gobs of chlorine. We've got tons of people who have chlorine allergies, and this does not bother them. Okay, salt, if you live in the Northeast or anywhere where it's cold and snows, you know that salt destroys everything it comes in contact with, super corrosive. If you think that's not going to take place in here, you're sort of crazy.
Yep.
It's absolutely going to just destroy everything in its path. That cannot be changed. Okay, and by the time it gets above 94 degrees, it's really just chlorine anyway. So don't bother. It's expensive. The sodium generators are expensive. It's unnecessary. Do it this way. Try it. And every
I'm 1
single
foot.
person in the last 10 years
I'm
we've
1
had try
foot.
it this way has never switched. Okay.
But yes, you can use the swim spa all year round.
Yes, absolutely on that. And we live in Connecticut here. And
Yep.
as you can see, this one is outside and it's on purpose. Oh, actually, that reminds me. We did cut down the 11
Oh
trees.
yeah.
So remember we were talking about the worms? You
Showing.
can see the giant hole. We just had it done last week. We haven't even cleaned up after it.
Yeah.
But all the front, there was trees in front of the house. And they're all gone.
Yeah.
So we diminished the stuff falling into the swim spa by a lot. They took a lot of trees out of here.
Dana, I would say that there's probably not room for 2 people to walk side by side, especially if you're moving those arms and everything. But there is definitely room for 2 people to exercise. My parents exercise in there at the same time, and they just kind of alternate where they are in the swim spa.
Like a circuit.
Like a circuit, exactly, yeah.
Let's see. How can I get the water cooler in my trainer? Susan in Texas. Good question.
And Dana just asked that same
Okay.
question.
So we've got. Has everyone seen those triangle sails?
Yeah.
They put them in places and they create shade. That's what our triathletes are using. Ben Hoffman has one at his house, and he lives in Tucson.
Yep.
Super hot, 110, 20. It does a great job of keeping that sun beating off the swim spa. The swim spas are efficient. They're super insulated, so they will warm up in the hot sun beating down on them. It's been really hot here. It's not hot enough in Connecticut to warm up the water past where we have it set at, even in direct sunlight, which is what we have. Okay? So, but in your super hot climates, Texas, Arizona,
Yeah.
if you get those sailcloth triangle things and kind of make them look neat over the spa, that does a great job. So when I saw that Ben had put those on, I asked him, how well they worked, and he said fantastic.
Yeah.
So he was really enthusiastic. I have not used them myself, although I do love the way they look. So they're just neat.
Yeah.
The triangle.
And if it's really getting hot, you throw ice in there. Keep a little bit of the cover open at nighttime if you
that will
can.
cool it off. So people put a rolled up towel in the cover so it doesn't close all the way, and that'll bleed some of that heat off overnight. You can do that. People have done the gallon water jugs frozen and popped them in there like giant ice cubes. It's not something we deal with here, but I know that ultimately if you have the sailcloth thing, you're never even going to have to deal with it because it prevents it from that heat, getting in there anyway.
I don't really know. I don't understand where this is, but this question said, I keep getting dirt in the corners by my jets. How do I prevent this? I'm not really sure where you mean, but you can get like a little vacuum.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to get it?
Yeah.
Sure. So I mean, we had in the warehouse, we had some dirt, and it just came off our feet getting in it. You know, over the course of a year and a half. In the corner, actually, right where Terry is, there was a little dirt spot in there, and just a little simple vacuum. But what you really want to do is just make sure that your feet are perfectly clean. You're going to drag stuff in there, and then, you know, something that we were not used to here. Beth and I, we never had we had a hot tub here outside, obviously, but the swim spa. This is our first swim spa outside. The rest of them have been in training facilities and gyms and warehouses and stuff like that, and showrooms. So you're going to have stuff fall in there. It's inevitable. So you're going to want that vacuum. You want me to get it and show?
Yeah, just really quickly. Ben's going to grab his... We'll pan to Mom and Dad again, hanging out in the warm water. Any other quick questions? We're going to be ending up soon.
Okay.
All right, here's Ben with his vacuums.
So this is the backup. This is the one we had for the hot tub, which was totally acceptable for the hot tub. Basically, you put your thumb over this, stick it down in the water, and then when you let your thumb off, it creates suction on the bottom. It telescopes, goes longer, does whatever you need. In a swim spa, it's not real great. So we did a little upgrade. This one would actually be good to the one that's inside in the warehouse because we don't get a lot in there.
Yeah.
Hey, who's that?
Hello. Hi, battery is running dead.
Really?
20%.
We're fine.
Yeah.
So this one is the Intex, inexpensive, got it on Amazon, battery powered, rechargeable. We put it in there, keeps this thing spotless clean, works great. It's not super fast. You just got to go slow.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it was 68 bucks. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works great. So it keeps it clean. Everything's out of there now. With all the trees removed, we're in good shape.
Yeah. All right.
Are we there?
We're there. Yep.
We're done.
All right. So thank you, Mom and Dad, Joe and Terry, for joining us again and giving us a little refresher.
Thank you, Master Spas, Ben and Mary, for letting us.
Her name's Mary.
And we will see everyone in 2 weeks.
Which is the 25th.
There you go.
25th.
Wednesday.
That's simple math.
Wednesday, the 25th at 4. We will be back. Hope everyone has a great night, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Be good.